So although I wanted to start outside, as you can see, it is pretty nasty out, but that's what you get when you're in Ohio in mid to late February. So what I wanted to do today is just kind of force myself to make content. We really haven't had too much of updates to speak of, but I just really wanted to come on here and just exercise a little bit. You know, exercise my mind, exercise what we have got going on in the building, and just kind of get my take on the overall overview of the entire building. Over the past few years, we're getting into years now, can you believe it? A remodeling project that takes several years. And as you can tell, there is some paint on the wall, but there is certainly a lot of materials left to go. Now, to be honest, that kind of scares me. Kind of scares me a lot, because it's one thing to build, but it's another thing to be storing materials. So it's one thing to be building out the studio, but then what about this space? You know, where is all of that stuff gonna go, and when? You know, that how can we utilize the building to the best of its ability if we're just filling up space? So that's one thing that's on my mind. Another thing that I have on my mind is if we plan on separating this building into 2 separate or even 3 separate studios, we're gonna have to be running a hallway directly through that cabinet behind me. So that's another concern and thought that I have, that we're gonna have to be putting in a hallway, because depending on how many tenants or how many people that are renting out the space, they're gonna have to have access to the bathroom. And if somebody's working in Studio A or Studio B or Studio C, they can't interrupt each other. So that's another thought that I have. We can go ahead and do a little bit of an update back in Studio C for the Cyclorama studio. As you can tell, the walls have been painted a primer gray, the ceiling a dark matte black. As you can tell, there's still a big gap of black up there. We've also got the back power that's waiting to get hooked up. We've got a different box. We just want to make sure that all the lights are on their own fuses, so we really don't have to worry about, you know, any issues with the fuse box or power. Pretty sure we're putting in a 200 amp box. We just had to put one in that's a little bit shorter, as you can see. And as I'm looking around, this is my first time that I've been in here in a few days. The big concern that I had is painting while drywall and sanding still needed to be done. Because the moment that any work is being done over here, there's going to be an immense amount of sand and dirt and grit that's going to pepper this entire room, which, you know, on one hand, it's kind of inevitable, but at the other hand, it's going to really ruin the paint if a lot of dust and everything gets into it. So that definitely is a big concern of mine, having all of that power yet to be figured out. And like I mentioned in the What's Wrong vlog, it's not really my choice. It's hard that, as I mentioned, with dealing with family, I'm not making the executive decisions here. So they're going ahead with painting, where they put all of these outlets for all of this, in my opinion, unnecessary power. So not only do you have this unnecessary power, but that unnecessary power has also prevented us from closing up that wall. And since we were unable to close up that wall, the rest of the building is going to be susceptible to dust and debris. And that really bothers me. So I just wanted to give a little bit of an overview of the building. I really wanted to start outside just to kind of show you around the premises and a few things that we still need to do. As you can tell, hopefully, I'm not sure if I can pan up. I'm on POV mode on this gimbal here, but part of the ceiling still needs to be painted black. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this gray. As you can tell, there's quite a bit of shadows, but overall pretty happy. Gonna go ahead and talk a little bit more in this room, maybe in the office. The sound is gonna be a little bit better, a couple sound panels, and we'll kind of finish off the vlog in the office. You know, I'm really trying a new thing with these studio vlogs. It's not something that I naturally, personally, I'd rather be behind the camera. I'd rather be in a supporting role. And that's really what I'm trying to do with this studio. You know, provide a community for people to get together and help facilitate their fantasies. You know, a bit of a Midwest fantasy factory at 2045 studio. And I also wanted to talk about the postings that I've been making. As you can tell, I'm beardless currently. So it's been a few weeks. I've kind of been scheduling out the content. It's something that I suggest to a lot of artists and businesses, that you really want to be careful, because if you ever miss a week or miss a day, you're really going to be losing out on the consistency. Now, I've been posting on Mondays, and I've been seeing some great results, and I want to thank you. I want to take this time to thank you because, quite frankly, I haven't posted for the past several months. And to see after one post get 200 views, 3, 4, 5, 100, 1,700 impressions, give or take, I'm really happy, and that makes me feel that the community supports me and I'm here to support you guys. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know down below. If you have any business, please feel free to DM me as well as email me. All of my information will be down below. And if you don't already know, I'm Anthony Marshall,